Gitu.
Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum, selamat pagi semuanya.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Selamat pagi Pak Wakil Dekan Dr. Irfan telah hadir pada kesempatan kali ini. Jadi kami meneruskan di sini. Jadi selain saudara-saudara mendapatkan pembekalan dari Pak Wakil Dekan tentang organisasi, leadership begitu, dan juga dari Dr. Dani Ferdian yang juga merupakan mahasiswa berprestasi, maka pada kesempatan ini kami pun juga memperhatikan respon saudara-saudara sehingga nanti betul-betul menjadi pertimbangan kami untuk dapat mengakses saudara-saudara begitu. Tentunya untuk maju ke tingkat selanjutnya, ke tahap selanjutnya. Seperti yang telah kami sampaikan bahwa tahap selanjutnya adalah akan kami kirimkan hanya 2 orang nama per fakultas untuk masuk ke dalam tingkat universitas, untuk nanti seleksi tingkat universitas begitu. Dan juga terima kasih saudara-saudara juga telah menyampaikan suatu gagasan ide. Ya, menarik sekali gagasan idenya, dan nanti pada akhir sesi ini insya Allah pada pukul 2 siang nanti setelah paparan dari Dr. Dani, maka kita akan bersama-sama mengevaluasi gagasan ide saudara-saudara sekalian, begitu ya. Nah, untuk sebagai bahan pertimbangan ke seleksi berikutnya. Ya, tepat sudah pukul 11.04 di komputer saya, dan alhamdulillah sekali lagi Pak Wakil Dekan sudah hadir. Tanpa mengurangi waktu lagi, kami persilahkan kepada Dr. Irfan untuk menyampaikan pembekalannya, Dok.
Baik, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi, salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Yang saya hormati Bapak Ketua Program Studi Sarjana Kedokteran, Ibu Ketua Program Studi Sarjana Kedokteran Hewan, lalu ada diploma kebidanan enggak ini? Kelihatannya enggak ya? Lalu para pembina kemahasiswaan, ada Dr. Yuni, ada Bapak Dr. Aziz, Dr. Dani Ferdian juga, ada Ibu Ahadiani, alhamdulillah nih, ini pembina kemahasiswaan senior, sangat senior. Guru saya juga soalnya. Ya, alhamdulillah kita semua dalam keadaan sehat walafiat, dan pagi ini kita dipertemukan dalam satu forum yang buat saya, ada Kang Hasan juga, ini juga Om Hasan ya. Kita semua dipertemukan dalam satu forum yang buat saya ini membahagiakan, karena ini adalah salah satu forum yang memberi jalan bagi hadirnya atau terbentuknya generasi pemimpin masa depan gitu ya. Sangat membanggakan, meskipun harus juga disadari bahwa proses kepemimpinan itu tidak hanya terjadi dalam satu waktu snapshot gitu ya, tetapi merupakan suatu proses panjang yang juga memerlukan kesadaran ya, agar bisa berlangsung optimal. Jadi prosesnya harus merupakan proses sadar. Ya, saya akan melakukan share screen untuk untuk satu video, bentar ya. Bukan ini.
Ini mana nanti Pak Dekan?
Ini juga mana? Kok itu? Ini. Saya share dulu ini. Saya nggak tahu ini udah ada suaranya nggak ya kalau gini ya?
Sebentar.
Gimana caranya supaya saya bisa mengeluarkan suaranya ini? Saya coba
play dulu. Suara udah masuk.
Sudah
Keluar.
Tersentuh Pak Dekan. Mantap sekali.
Ya, sekarang it's now your turn to speak up. Ini eagle saya ada di atas.
Keren eagle-nya.
Saya punya eagle yang lain, tapi ya silakan. Asal ada satu orang bicara eagle atau apapun tentang kepemimpinan, silakan. Saya akan tunjukkan eagle saya yang lain.
Doctor,
Silakan.
may I my opinion on the video?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, please.
So from that video, I learned several things. The 7 characteristics of a leader. That is, first, play alone, which is a leader needs to be strong and to be independent. And the second, need to have an accurate vision. And the third, we shouldn't look at the past. And the fourth is we must be excited and not afraid of whatever the challenge we face on. And the fifth is we must have commitment in everything we did. And the sixth is we must prepare for training, that is to leave our comfort zone. And the last is we must set off our old habits to become a new, better person for a leadership. That's my personal opinion. So, thank you.
Okay. Okay, thank you. What do you think is the current challenge of being a student in terms of leadership?
I think the current challenge is we rarely be faced on with how to improve our leadership, because we often more do passive activities that doesn't train our leadership, like studying or being at home. Whenever it's in COVID-19, as we know that it's online, and we can train our leadership as much as we can when we are in offline state. That's it, sir.
Any other comments from others?
Doctor, may I add to the list? Okay. So is my voice hearable? Okay.
Yes.
My name is Hansen from the third
Yes.
year
Thank you.
medicine study program. So I think that being a leader actually, it's not just about leading other at first, but it's about being the leader to yourself. Because as a student and being a medical student, especially, you'll be we will be doctors someday, and we cannot lead ourselves, but leading in this case means to do our responsibilities, fulfill our responsibilities as student, like learning, studying, and do our things, those little things that we can do as students, especially during this pandemic. We have this lack of motivation. We are separated from friends, especially me being actually living alone in my kosan, which is again something that is makes it more difficult to stay more time. So the point is, I believe that leadership, meaning that you can strive even when you're alone, and but it's about leading yourself first before you can start leading others. I mean, that's maybe what I can say about leadership from my perspective. That's all for my answer, Doctor. Thank you for the time.
Thank you. I really expect that you can go by this discussion in a flowing dialogue. So please talk to each other about this issue.
Doctor, my opinion. Okay. So, in my opinion, to the question before, what is the challenges commonly faced by us in the pandemic? Probably it's the lack of motivation, as already said before, and also it impacts on our capability to go to to move from our comfort zone, as shown in the video before. When we move from our comfort zone, it will make us grow, because in the comfort zone, obviously, there's no space to develop. So related to the pandemic, the habit of being at home and doing nothing, I mean not nothing, but not really active at home, it affects us as a person, that we tend to rely on what we already have, because like maybe some of us will not seek the many opportunities that already come during the pandemic, such as internet, online competitions and other stuffs, because we might say that we need some rest after the classes of medical school. So I guess one of the most challenging part of the pandemic is the lack of motivation, which leads to us not wanting to move from our comfort zone. I think that's all from me.
May I add, Doctor?
Yes, please.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity. I quite second all of my other friends' opinion, and I would like to add that maybe it's not just in a situation of a pandemic, but in all occasion, who needs a leader? A leader needs to be someone who is understanding and willing to hear others' opinion. Because, in my opinion, being a leader is not all about me. It's not all about putting myself first, but it's about understanding others and facilitate my team members so that we can achieve the goal together. I think being a leader, we need to be understandable of others' opinion also. Thank you.
Any other comments or perspectives? Yes, please, Christiana.
Thank you for the opportunity. For me, leadership, based on the video before, that an eagle is often an eagle can an eagle can go to, can be focused on what that it want and it also imply in our daily life that often we together as a team, as a leader, it's hard for us to keep our pace at stable. We sometimes we can be powerful, sometimes we get tired, and it's so important for us to to keep carry on the duty that we have. For me, it is. Thank you.
Thank you. Who else?
Hello, doctor. May I add some
Yes.
opinions? Okay, for me, being a leader is someone who can take a responsibility, and being a leader who is someone who can look forwards and adapt in every situation. And for me, being a leader is someone who can hear any opinion from the other people and who can adapt with that opinion. And for someone who can look forwards, maybe like make some creative ideas or anything, being a leader is important. But the one thing is very important is we can make some responsibility for anything, such as for works, or we can educate many people. And for being a leader is very important to release the vision forwards. Thank you, doctor.
Yeah, and now for Aliza or Christiana, what do you think the most challenging issues in student leadership right now?
Okay, doctor. Okay. For me, it's the most challenging for the student right now. Maybe like we are so afraid move move forward. We are so afraid to become our become our become our personality. We are so afraid, and we are afraid to get brave, so we can't do anything to make our leadership for a better leadership, just because we are afraid or we are ashamed to do anything. Maybe like that.
What about Christiana?
I'd also like to add that often when someone wants to improve their leadership, they often got so distracted with other things, like maybe other everyone have their own burden or issues, and they also sometimes got so drawn by other responsibility or some sort of thing, so that they can't focus and go firmer with their decisions or how to they handle something. For me, it's like that. Thank you for the opportunity.
Okay. Any other comments? I will add two questions, and I'm inviting anyone to make a comments or tell about their perspective. First is when was last event that proving your leadership, your own personal leadership to others, and in what way that your what is it? Your action really or truly make benefits for others. In what way? And in what way your leadership may affect and may affect the others? When was the last action that you think it was the proof of your leadership, and in what way that it really affect others?
Okay, that may I state my opinion?
Sure. Anyone? Sure.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. So, if it's about experience, the last time I was being a head of media of my organization in faculty, so there was several members that I had to work together, and I think being a leader means you, other than you supervise them, you also give them space to learn and grow. So, as a leader, you also teach them to become a leader also in their programs and others. When they were for an example, they were don't know what to do, I had to give them or help them in any way that could help their purpose. And one of the things that I do, I ever do a social campaign together with them, and I think it's a really impactful experience because we had to do it together, and lots of the people that had been socialized take the positive impact from that. That's it. Thank you, Doc.
Yep. Others?
I would like
Doctor,
Yes,
who's
Cindy
first?
first.
Who's going first? Okay, Cindy.
Yeah.
Okay, doctor. Maybe I can answer about based on my experience, maybe. But before, I would like to say so sorry because I don't know, my connection is very, very unstable. So I only can get in and get out. And so maybe I should turn off my camera first. Well, before I would like to introduce myself. I'm sorry I forgot to do it. First, my name is Cindy Stawati, and I'm from third year from Faculty of Medicine. And I would like to try to answer based of my experience and also from my opinion. First, the last way that I try and learn about leadership is I also joined the many organization in my faculty in AMSA UNPAD. I became a executive board of ASEAN Medical Student Association and English Academic Division, and also I joined and become a general secretary of Jalur Bergerak Zilenial. And many ways that I not only learn about this leadership, but I also teach many people about leadership. And one of them, the one way of them is I always give the motivation, and I'll always become a speaker, many seminar, and I become a lecturer also, that I give the perfection how to be a great leadership, and also not only give them education about how to be a great leadership, how to be a great leader, but also I always give some activity that can make the other people realize how to be a great leader. Maybe that's from my experience. Thank you, doctor.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Can I start speaking now?
Yes, sure. Yeah, Hansen, please.
Okay, come again. So from my experience, being a leader, it's actually something that I don't frequently do. Especially, I was in, when I was still in like high school, I was not I was not the kind of person who talk actively or would stand up to be a leader. But ever since I entered the university, I felt like I need to create some changes. That I actually did join in many organizational activities, be it within or outside the faculty. And one organization that I want to mention especially is actually a community, a student community within unpad. It's called Shine. Basically, it's an organization meant to give free education to students around Jatinangor, which I see as a way to pay back for the local, for allowing us to students to study in their town, okay, and then in our. I think that and as for the organization, my position was the Directorate of Education, which I'm required to lead many of many of my staff and also volunteers, educator volunteers that all come from different backgrounds, different faculty, or even different universities as well, because of this current situation that allows us to work together even though we are all apart. One thing that I learned from that is that I'm actually a very stubborn person in nature, but by working together with people with different backgrounds, once again, I learned how to listen and to respect others' opinions, and how to try to be more wise in ways to not to make rash decisions. And I think, again, the point is that being a leader means that I could lead myself. So again, apart from being that in the position, obviously I'm still a student, which means that I have responsibilities to take care of my studies, exams, and stuff like that. And I feel that being that leader in that opportunity there actually helped me grow as a person. So being a leader in that sense helped me to get more experience in leadership, and also to help me grow as a person. I think that's my opinion on leadership, and my most impactful experience that I think affect others, because I think by educating others, educating the I feel grateful, and I feel happy to do it as well. So yeah, that's my opinion about it. Thank you, Doctor.
Okay, for those who just joined the meeting, so I was asking to the candidates, what was the last action that you think is a proof of leadership by your own, and in what way that your action really meet the characteristic, or the characteristic of being a leader. So that's the questions. So any other comments or perspectives, especially for those?
I would like to add, if I may, Doctor.
Yeah, sure. Karina, after that, Rian.
Okay,
Yes,
Doctor.
please, Karina.
Thank you for the opportunity. So I would like to share my experience when I was the head of the facilitator division in OPEC, which is Christina orientation in past August 2020. So when I was the head division of facilitator, which is a mentoring division of the faculty orientation, I lead 60 staffs, 60 of my best friends. One of it is Mario here. He is one of my staffs in the facilitator division in OPEC. So first thing, why I became the leader of the head of the division of facilitator is because when I was a freshman, I believe mentorship is very, very important for me to adapt and to understand how is it the how is it the FK Unpad? What is the culture inside of it? So that was my reason of becoming the head of the facilitator division. In that experience, what is very valuable for me is that I am able to learn, and I am able to try to lead by example, because I have quite a lot of staffs and I need to be understandable about each and every one of them. I think what makes the orientation is quite a successful project the last year is because the mentors itself, all of my 60 friends there has become successful in being a good mentor for the freshmen. There are some challenges when I was leading the division of facilitator. Um, Many of my staffs having difficulties. Most of it are technical difficulties, but by being empathetic and by being understanding and being solutive, I think we have came across all of those challenges, and those are really important for me. I think before and after the project of orientation of OPEC, I made a small Google form about what I asked all of my staffs, what do they want to achieve by joining to become a mentor for the freshmen. And after the project, I also gave them as an evaluation. And after that, I shared their answers to the group. And I think, I hope if Mario would be able to say a thing or two after this. I think we've made a pretty good team as a division of mentorship, and I hope if Christina felt that way, you can have to say it too. Maybe that's all from me, Doctor. Thank you.
Yeah, please, Mario. Thank you.
Thank you for the.
Mario.
So first, I would like to share my personal experience about the leadership, and then I'll talk about the OPEC facilitator. So my last position in leadership was in September 2020, where I get into two places where I be a leader. The first one is the project officer for local academic training of AMSA Unpad, and the second is the head of events division in AMSA Party of AMSA Unpad. So I guess my experience in both that leadership is quite similar because it was in the same duration of time. So what I did was actually in the events division, there were some of my members who are inactive, but I know their potential because in other events where they participated, they did such a great job. So in this event particularly, probably because they are exhausted or whatever, I managed to encourage them to be more active, at least to finish their work. By doing that, overall the event was a success. And after the event, I discussed with them about other things, and they said that they wish they participated more actively in the event because I guess that event, the AMSA party, was something that for me is a life-changing experience as an event organizer, I must say, because that was I must say that the ideas presented in the discussion of the division was such a great idea, and I know that all my staffs are probably, some of them are even greater leaders in other places than me. So in that position, I must acknowledge that my staffs might have more potential, and as a leader, especially in university level, I must acknowledge that I actually don't have acknowledgement or whatever, like probably doctors already have the doctor in your name, but I don't have anything. So I must respect that all the staffs must be facilitated to explore their potentials and probably be a greater leader than me. So in the project as a project officer in local academic training, I also faced several difficulties where some of my head of divisions are not as quick not as responsive as the others. especially in the crucial times. So I reached out to them through some of their best friends and solved out the problem personally and professionally. And then I also give some advice to one of my design team, and I guess like only a little bit of word from a leader might affect the mindset of the staffs. So therefore, like if they feel that their work is not really good or under the standard, just a little word or influence from the leader might make them want to change the work and be more proud of their work. Okay, so I think that's all for my experience. So regarding the facilitator of OPEC, I was led with Teh Karina, and that was my first experience as a facilitator and also as a second-year student. So I guess from that experience, definitely I learned so much, especially that the division had special upgrading held only within the division that really maximized my potential as probably as a public speaker and also as a facilitator itself. And also the atmosphere of work in the division was really great, that we can really be probably, let's say, best friend with our partner in facilitating, that we can provide great informations and also influence to the freshmen without a lack of communication between leaders and the staffs. I think that's all from me.
May I add a little from? May I lead a little? May I give a little opinion on what happened in OPEC and about a little bit about what I have learned from leadership, and from what I have experienced, like what Sister Karina said, that I'm really grateful of Akang and Teteh that have already given their time to us to let us know more about what should we do when we encounter a problem, like when we face OPEC, when we go Mabi, when we face Mabi, bold, basic of organization, basic of leadership training. We often learn more about communication with others and what we should do when we need to reach out someone, because in this online situation, of course, there are someone who especially it's hard to deal with connection or maybe have their own problems in home. I'm so grateful with all the experience, and it helps us to be able to participate actively and to become a leadership. For me, it's what important, and that's all from me. I see Sister Nurul wants to talk about something. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you, Tina.
Well, Nurul, but for you, I will add one question, and of course your comments also are very welcome. But others, I think I would like also to invite others' comment. The question is about, so what is the difference between being a good manager and a great leader? Yeah.
Thank you so much, Doctor. So this is the point that I want to mention before. What is the difference between manager or boss and the leader? And that is one of the things that I think one of our challenging that I want to answer before, but I don't have the chance. So a boss is an individual who is in charge of the employee or an organization. So he is in the charge. So he drives the employee, and it's depending on the authority, and it's inspired by a fear or responsibility. This is very different with leadership, which is a leader is an individual who possesses the ability to influence and inspire others. not just to drive them, but inspire and influence them to do the work. Also, they don't want to do it, or they thought that that is something that's tiring, but we influence them, we inspiring them to do it with their heart, so we can make the programs is more successful and to the maximize level. So we can accomplish the levels. And in my
experience.
Thank you very much. In my experience, I have been a leader for several organizations and committee like SRC and the others, but the things that I think the most memorable things for me is not in when I drive an organizations or being a leader in one of the organizations or divisions or a committee or itself, but like Hansen said before, the first important thing is to lead ourselves, and then I think to lead myself, I need to lead people around me. So I have several of my friends who is really struggling with their academy. They are really struggling from the very beginning, and I think I can be a leader for them. Most of them call me their mom, and all of their family know me. When my friends have a struggle in academy and they tell to their mother will call me to help them. I think that is one of the leadership that I have. Although it's just for several people, but it's really memorable for me because they really trust me. Like I changed their life the way, like in this, for example, in this semester, they're really struggling because we know we are in the online classes. So I'm the one who kept like, do you do it? Like, do you join the tutorial? What about your progress and so on? And I keep consoling them right now in the making their tests. And I think that is the most memorable things also in all of my experience that I have before.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you. And what about the others?
Doctor? Okay. So I think that for the second question, or for the question that you just asked earlier, what are the difference between a good manager and a good manager and a great leader? For me, actually, I was a great manager. I was never a good leader. I was never a great leader. I was always more focused on managing events, managing my staff, rather than leading them to be a better version of themselves. A good manager, I think, their main task is to make sure that everyone understands their roles, their job. So first thing that I think a good manager would do is to create a job division, make sure that everyone understands and make sure that they do their job well. And as well as to evaluate what they have, what I have instructed them to do. As for the second thing, a great leader is actually someone that not just instruct people, but also to show, to lead people, to make sure that they feel connected to each other, to feel that they are like at their own homes, even at work, to inspire them, not just using them in that sense, and also be able to listen and to understand to their problem and help to solve those problems. And the last thing is that is someone that I think, again, once again, I would like to always say this, but someone that can lead themselves first before they try to lead others. That's for me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. No one else?
Doctor, may I state my opinion also?
Yes, please.
So before I really agreed with what Hansen and Nur said, because it is an important thing for someone to be not a good manager, but also a good leader. So what I want to say is, I think, in my opinion, being a good leader also is also important, and being a good manager also an important aspect when we lead an organization, because managership itself means we must regulate how the employment and how each members work. And being a good leader means we can make all the members a family for us. So I think both aspects is important, and myself is still learning to be both a good leader and a good manager for others. That's my opinion. Thank you.
I think everyone should have an experience when being a good manager or a great leader. So everybody, I think, in this room would have that one, yeah, would have the experience. So could you share with us?
Okay, maybe I would like to share my
Yeah,
experience.
maybe.
So right now I am in a position where probably I could say that I am more of a manager than a leader in my current position as the head of division in logistic and administration of District 3 project of AMSA Indonesia. So here I only in this position right now, my division is not a division that really can influence the event so much, as we only facilitate how the event runs in the day of the event. So I would say that being a manager, skills that we need to have is obviously good communication and proper communication between our leader and also our staffs. Besides than that, we also have to give clear job descriptions to the staffs in order for they to really understand what to do. Besides that, we also need to supervise their work and to maintain that all is due to the deadline and to the time work. But different with the leader, where a leader, they should be able to influence the capabilities of their staffs or their members in a way that being a leader, you should be able to show, as I really agree with Kang Hansen before, as a leader, we should be able to show how to do things, even though we are not an expert in that field. Because like if we already have staffs that are capable in that field, at least we must know a little bit about that thing in order for us to connect with them. As we connect with them, obviously the progression of the event or the work we are doing is going to be greater as they are willing to do the work with their hearts and not for payment or whatever the reward is. I think that's my opinion on leader and manager.
Yeah.
Maybe can I get doctor?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, before maybe I would like to give the perfection, the differential between a good manager and a good leader. First, maybe based on my experience and also based of my opinion, I think that a good manager not only give the limitation for their staff, and they should be able to give some job tasks, and maybe we only just know each other, and there is a limit both of them gitu. But different with the to be a great leader not only become a chief or maybe a head of something, but also they should be able to be a friends, to be a best friends, to be a good consultant and many things. So maybe I believe that if we can be a great manager, it cannot be something that we can say that he or she can become a great leader. But if we can be a great leader, we can be a great manager. That is, I think, because I feel on my experience in many organizations that I joined there, when I become a project officer, where I become a general secretary and become executive board and many of the others job that I got, I should be adapt to many people, not only for my staff, not only for my friends or my partner, but also I should be know about personality for myself. That is, I think. Thank you.
Yeah. Please, you still have time?
Doctor, maybe I can share a bit of my experience being a good lead. No, I think a leader and manager. So I'm leading the external division of Science and Research Center in FK Unpad. So in an event, we had to presentate our projects in a national event called Temilnas or Temu Ilmiah Nasional. And in that event, we had to prepare just 1 week before the event. It was really devastating for us because we just hadn't prepared well enough. And we were like, weeks again, we had to experience the exam. And it was really many events at the time. So I think when I'm being just a manager, I can tell them to do A, B, C, but they can't do it themselves and they don't be motivated by it. But when at the time we had discussed it well and we discussed what's the motivation for us to doing that. And when the time came, it turns out I had another agenda to do, so I can't participate in the event, and that made my member more devastated than ever because, like Nurul said before, it's like we are their moms, and it was like, no, if you are not here, what we can do? But unexpectedly, at the time, we got an award as the best project, national project from SRCF Unpad, from other science units in the faculty. So I think it was because they are able to feel what it means to be a member of the external division, and they have the motivation, and I think they are very better than me to do the works than me itself, because they able to do it alone. I mean, no need to someone to direct them to do A, B, C, but they are able to maintain it in a good way. Well, maybe if my members is watching this, I'm very lucky to have you all. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, because time is up, I think I will close this session by sharing with you one of the inspiration that I have from our guru in education, especially national education. He said like this: can you see? Yeah.
Yes.
Once he said, "Ingarso sung tulodo, ing madyo mangun karso, tutwuri handayani." So it implies that wherever we are, leadership characteristics will still there. Yeah. And now to end this session, I will also invite you to share what is your inspirations from others in terms of leadership, especially from our local wisdom. Please.
Yes, doctor, maybe I would like to answer first, maybe.
Yeah.
I think my inspiration leader in local is our beloved governor, is Mr. Ridwan Kamil, because when I become aides of governor, or we always say ajudan milenial gubernur Jawa Barat, I can learn indirectly how he become a great leader, how he make many decisions, not only for his family, but also for many people in West Java. And the other side, I can learn many things from him. The special things that I always remember, he told me that Cindy, jika kamu ingin menjadi seseorang yang bermanfaat, salah satunya jadilah seorang pemimpin. And I think that statement is very useful for me and also inspiring me to become a great leader. So I think my local inspiration is Mr. Ridwan Kamil, because I can see how he can lead this West Java become a great and a great place again. Yes, I think like that. Thank you.
Yeah. Please, others? Any others? Yeah, Sophia?
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. So I would like to tell who's my maybe inspiration in leadership. So I think it's quite unusual, and maybe people don't really know this person because it's quite far from us. So I have an inspiration that I look up to since my senior high school days. She was the student executive president from a medical university. Her name is Yosilia Nur Sakina. Maybe several of you know her. So I met her before she became a leader in the student executive board. But at that time, she told me that we shouldn't be like a dead fish who float along the river, but we should fight along the flow. So we must swim faster than the flow itself. And that's why one of the thing we could give is being a good leader. And I see from her projects that one of them is she tried to eliminate the smoking regulation. It is really impactful, and now she's not only leading the student executive board before, but she also made a non-profit organization called Co-Hope, and she's also a good mom and a good wife to her family. So it kind of inspirational for me to giving impact not only outside of you but in your home. So I think that's my inspiration until now. Thank you.
Yeah. Genuine inspiration, I think. Both of them, you already mentioned. What about others?
Can I speak?
Yes, sure. Yes,
So,
please, Nurul.
I think my inspirations is most of you inspiration too, because my inspirations as a leader is Nabi Muhammad SAW, because I think he is the great leader ever, and he is one of my friend, not one of, he is one of my friend, because I really love how he taught or he inspired people by his caring and justice, and also it's not just like that, but he is also a teacher, a family that you can rely, and he really justice to everyone, to every people's, and willingness to consult and persuasiveness in the good way, and he is also a great general and so on. I think I can tell all of his speciality in here, but I'm sure that all of you also, most of you also a fan of him, so maybe you know better of him, but he's one of my great inspirations of leadership, because I want to be a leader who not only just a boss, or actually I'm not really good manager, but I want to be a leader like Cindy say, or Sophie say, or Hansen say before, like the people who will inspire or motivate, because sometimes I'm not good at drive someone, so maybe with a little bit inspirations they will work, but I'm still work with it right now. So that is one of my evaluations for myself. So I need to be more, a little bit can drive organizations to be more like that. So
Terima kasih. Ya, waktu kita terbatas ya, jadi masih banyak yang bisa kita diskusikan, dan yang pasti sesi ini bukan pembekalan buat kalian, tapi justru membekali saya, gitu ya. Saya banyak belajar dari apa yang telah disampaikan, dan saya bahagia dan optimis bahwa masa depan bangsa kita insya Allah akan makin baik dengan hadirnya kalian sebagai pemimpin. Sudah digarisbawahi bahwa menjadi pemimpin tidaklah harus dalam satu posisi formal, bahkan tidak menjabat sekalipun, tapi karakteristik sebagai seorang pemimpin bisa mewarnai lingkungannya, begitu ya. Saya kira demikian yang bisa saya hantarkan pada sesi pagi ini. Terima kasih atas kesempatannya dan terima kasih atas pelajarannya. Saya kembalikan kembali kepada pembawa acara. Terima kasih.
Baik, terima kasih Dr. Irfan, Pak Wakil Dekan Bidang Sumber Daya dan Organisasi. Ya, ini pun mulai dari apa yang disampaikan Dr. Irfan dan juga memperhatikan diskusi-diskusi, saya mencatat beberapa, saya sepakat sekali apa yang tadi disampaikan. Ini saya dapat pelajaran banyak begitu tentang ini semua. Baik, maka yang kedua, sesi selanjutnya itu kita akan mulai dilanjutkan dengan Dr. Dani begitu. Namun kita reses dulu untuk melaksanakan ibadah sholat zuhur ya begitu. Ibadah sholat zuhur ini insya Allah 2 menit lagi akan masuk azan sholat zuhur kalau waktu di Jatinangor ya. Saya kebetulan di Jatinangor. Jadi ini bukan virtual background, ini real background. Jadi keren banget. Jadi bentuknya seperti virtual background ya. Padahal real ini tuh gitu. Menunjukkan bagaimana masih rapihnya, kosong begitu, agar tidak diisi oleh yang lain, maka saya coba isi saja begitu. Ya, baik. Jadi untuk sesi kedua dan kemudian untuk riset sementara, saya mohon kesepakatan untuk kita bisa mulai pukul 12.20. Bagaimana? Cukupkah kita melaksanakan sholat zuhur ya? Kepada Dr. Dani.
Siap, Dok.
Oke, sepakat ya kita 12.20, Dr. Dani, is it okay? Untuk kita sholat zuhur dulu?
Siap.
Maaf,
baik.
Dr. Ghazali.
Oh, silakan Dr. Hasan, silakan.
Kalau di jadwal kita mulai pukul 1.
Oh, pukul 1 ya? Oh, sorry. Karena udah nggak sabar pengen ketemu lagi sebenarnya. Karena menggunakan tautan yang sama, begitu. Baiklah, jika demikian waktunya lebih lowong sehingga lebih santai dan nyaman untuk juga memenuhi makan siang begitu. Jadi sekali lagi kami mengucapkan terima kasih kepada Dr. Irfan. Ini applause dulu dong kepada Dr. Irfan terhadap apa yang disampaikan begitu. Jadi kita akan ketemu lagi pada channel yang sama di channel ini. Silahkan bagi yang live dulu silahkan atau yang bagi yang tetap. Sekali lagi terima kasih kepada Dr. Irfan. Hatur nuhun, Dok. Atas
terima kasih
waktu dan
semuanya.
kesempatan.
Untuk semuanya, Ibu Bapak dosen yang hadir, pembimbing, dan adik-adik semua. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Izin meninggalkan.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Mohon Pak Wadek.
Terima kasih, Dok.
Ibu Yani.
Ibu. Iya. Mbak Uni.
Tapi ini masih pada di sini ya. Ya udah deh, Ibu sholat dulu kan?
Ya. Saya izin pamit dulu ya, Dok, Bu.
Ya, mangga Bu Endang.
Ya,
Jadi
nanti
nanti
lagi.
habis sholat aja dulu ya, Bu.
Ya, Mbak.
Ya,
Mbak,
Bu.
aku
Ya.
ketua.
Ini udah keluar.
Iki asih kathah mahasiswane, Bu.
Atau
Pindah rumah aja.
mahasiswa diminta keluar aja dulu biar istirahat.
Atau kita dibikinin room dong, San, boleh nggak, San?
Iya, nanti pindah rumah aja yang tadi kali ya, bisa kali ya. Sebentar nanti tanya dulu.
Aku tak ganti. Aku tak ganti laptop lagi. Siap.
Nanti ini live dulu aja.
Terus
Ya,
nanti
lift
kita
aja.
masuk yang tadi aja, Mas Hasan? Masuk yang tadi?
Iya, kita coba ke sana.
Oke, siap.